Hello, my dears. How are you? I love seeing so many beautiful faces in today. It's boosting my ego the right way. So we're gonna have a talk. It's gonna be about, since he already previewed it, love actually. But before I begin, I want to make a disclaimer. Whatever resonates with you, take it. Whatever it doesn't, just that's perfectly fine. I want you to feel as comfy and cozy as I'm feeling right now. That's the whole purpose of the talk. We're going to talk about love, but I want to stray away from that stereotypical view we all have on love and remind you that love is beautiful, loud, colorful, flamboyant, and overall abundant. It's everywhere around you. All you need to do is just open your eyes to it. Especially today, with everything that's happening around the world, I think this is really the time to speak about love. But because love is so different and it means so many different things to all of us, I have chosen 3 categories of love: self-love, romantic love to spice things up a bit, and platonic love. There's, of course, love of your craft, parental love, the love you have for your dog at home, but we're going to focus on these 3. I will start with self-love, mostly because I find it the most challenging of all. I was met with this question a while back: who do you love? Who do you love? I named every possible thing, every object, every person I could think of. Myself was never the answer. Who do you love? Myself. I was a shy kid growing up. I kept my circles small. I was constantly unhappy with my body, especially when I entered teenagehood. I always felt like I was too tall, or my nose was too big for my face. Always unhappy. I was scared I was doing too much, stressed about doing too little. And, it led me down a path of insecurities that I never touched upon. I never thought in a way that I can manage to work on them, because how do you practice self-love? There's no map to it. There's no one there to actually help you through it. There's not like we can get a person to do it for us. So how do we self-love? Well, Bell Hooks put it pretty nicely, and if you haven't checked out her work, she's a beautiful writer, so please go ahead. She says, one of the best guides on how to be self-loving is to give ourselves the love we are often dreaming about receiving from others. Because whilst I was going through this process of not being happy with myself, I was also seeking out a person to love myself, to love me into loving myself. I was looking for someone to love all my imperfections and to love me the way I am, which is perfectly imperfect. But my dears, that's not quite how it works, is it? Of course not. It's you should see self-love like this. Self-love is the epicenter of our loving practice, right? We cannot keep our commitments to other people in our lives unless we prioritize our number 1 commitment, which is ourselves. Not to become too narcissistic now, there's nothing selfish about having a little bit of self-love. But once you offer this unconditional love to yourself, you've laid down a foundation of affirmation of support. And the next time you wish to make a connection with someone, you will do that not because of a place of deficiency. You will do it out of fulfillment. But, we're still romantic creatures. We still want to have a relationship. We still want to live that Romeo and Juliet, no matter what shape or form. And this is going to be my segue into romantic love, and I'm going to share with you an episode from my personal love life. Not that it's been the greatest. Romantic love, the sweetest, the dreamiest, the most melodramatic, sometimes a little bit complicated. I grew up watching a lot of Disney movies. I'm especially fond of those with the princesses who had a prince come in, sweep them off their feet, and take them away from whatever villainous circumstance they were happening to experience at that point. I wanted the same thing. And I grew up being this type of lover girl because of all the material that I was consuming. I mean, come on, let's be honest. And it's not just this, it's also social media. But at the same time, I was quite fearful of it. My parents separated when I was about 10 years old. So ever since then, I had a questionable view on love. I questioned how fair it is. I questioned its truthfulness. And every single time in my relationships, in my romantic relationships, when I was trying to love that person to their full potential, I was always missing, because at the back of my mind there used to be questions of what if? What if I'm not enough? What if he finds someone else? What if it's just not meant to be? My ex-relationship ended up because my partner had fallen out of love with me. And it's not really a process that you register then and there. You really have to reflect on what has happened. When realization hit me, I was shattered, heartbroken. I had never experienced such an aching feeling in my heart, such stress in my bones, and my jaw was clenched all the time. I thought to myself, that's it, I'm never loving again. And I have a feeling I might not be the only one who has experienced this. Love from now on is going to be scary. Now it's not scary, and I'm going to tell you why. I do not resent my ex-partner. I do not regret the amount of love that I had put into that relationship, the amount of effort. I do not hate the amount of tears I managed to cry every single night. Because that's the truth about unconditional love, you know? That's the truth about real love. It's that it comes with pain. But it does not mean that we should just kick it to the side, kick it to the curb and say, oh, this is the enemy, I'm never going to relive this again, I don't want to. Nor should we say, I'm not going to be able to love again. That's not the point. And I'm afraid sometimes we try and find this healing into other people. And we never really fully heal. We jump to another person, and then what happens, we relive the same cycle again and again and again. It's very much similar to the use of a paper cup. We use the cup, and because it's made out of paper, we throw it away after a little while, and then we take another one, and so on and so forth. So, my dears, I'm really hoping that your perception of romantic love is a little bit more different than this. And if you do happen to be in this space, in this context that I've just told you about, try and see love differently. Please try and see love as Romeo and Juliet put on rose-colored glasses and try to romanticize it, no matter how hurtful it is. Trust me, your ability to love again will come. Maybe in different ways, but you'll make your way there. Because you know what happened? That unconditional love that I was seeking from a partner, I actually found it in my friends. It was my sisters who taught me everything about love. And to quote Dolly Alderton, nearly everything I know about love I've learned in my long-term friendships with women. And that is true. And as a single child, this is absolutely certified. I've never had the access to community or sisterhood when I was little. And when I moved to the Netherlands, it felt a little bit too, there was too much solitude. So to be able to stand here and say proudly that I love my friends with everything I had, I would throw my hand in fire for them, and one of them is sitting like right here next to me. It's absolutely brilliant, and I do hope that you share the same amount of love with your friends. I highly encourage you that after this talk, when you see your friends, please go and give them a hug. Please go and tell them you love them. Because they're such important sources of love. They taught me how to love. They taught me how to love myself, and they taught me patience, right? They taught me imperfections are not a bad thing. They taught me that imperfections are what made me stand here today, right? To talk to you about this, to have to build up the courage and say something, because, you know, I woke up and I wanted to make a difference. So, my dears, try and open up not only your eyes to love, try and see love throughout your life, in acts of kindness, in acts of candor, in acts of humanity, especially humanity. Open up your heart and open up your eyes, and you'll find that love actually really is all around. Thank you very much, my dears. It's been lovely talking to you.